I'm Robin from Swordwind Historical European Martial Arts, and today I'd like to talk to you a bit about taking care of your practice swords, aka fetters. One of the first things when we have new people that they want to buy is a mask and gloves, and then pretty much right on the tail of that, or maybe even first, is a sword. So how do we take care of our swords? Well, some people feel that a practice sword is just that, a practice implement, and it's meant to be beaten up and getting dirty and rusty and all of that, and that is cool. But if you want to keep yours shiny and new looking and in good repair, that's what I kind of want to go over today, is the basics of that. So let's see, first we want to talk about what materials we need. These are the things that I like to do. Different people have different methods, but this has worked for me over the years, so I'm just going to describe the way I like to do things. So I like to have an all-purpose cleaner. I use Method from Target. It smells good, just gets the oil and the dirt off. I like an oil. Sewing machine oil is what I use. Renaissance wax. We'll go into a little bit of detail about how to use each of these things. Paper towels, soft cloth, files to help with burrs, and a little sanding material to get some of the rust off. So what happens when we use our swords is that they get rusty. That's one of the main things that happens. Things that can make rust happen faster is touching the blade. If you touch with your bare hands, you're putting oils and salts behind that cause rust to occur faster. If you put the sword in your car, it's hot and humid out there, the humidity gets to the metal. Another thing, putting your sweaty clothes after practice against the blade will really get some rust going. And then just not cleaning it very often. Eventually all swords will rust. Another thing that I've found is that the shinier the material is, the slower it is to rust. The more matte looking the metal is, the faster it is to rust. So like on this sword, this part's really shiny and polished. Actually, the blade is too. This sword rusts very little. My buckler, on the other hand, you can see it's a little bit more matte. It's got less polish to it. This rusts very quickly, so I have to stay on top of it. So the first thing that I like to do is clean the oils and the salts and the dirt off of my blade. So the way I do that is with my cleaner. I use paper towels. You can use cloths if you like. And I just literally spray my blade down with the cleaner, and then I wipe with a paper towel. And I just wipe all surfaces that can be touched, including the pommel. Can't forget that. So once that's done and the metal's nice and clean and dry, then I look for burrs. Is actually the second thing that I do. A burr is where you've hit another sword and you get a rough spot. Bad thing about burrs is if you go up against somebody's skin and you pull, it's gonna hurt them. You don't wanna hurt your partner, so you do wanna sand off any of those really rough edges. And the way you do that is get a little set of metal files. I just got a set of maybe 10 of these of different shapes off of Amazon. And anywhere that you put your finger along and you feel that rough edge, just typically, and just kind of sand those off, sand them down until they're nice and smooth. So that's 2. 3 is get rid of any rust that you see. So that usually looks like kind of orange speckles or splotches or patches, and in some cases I've seen almost whole blades be covered with rust. Again, if you can kind of keep up with it, hopefully before it's widespread, it's much easier to deal with. And rust gets deeper. It's easier to take care of when it's new and shallow. And the way you do this, these are Scotch-Brite abrasive pads. They come in different levels of abrasiveness. And I've got the gray and the maroon. I don't know what exactly those are called in the store, but they're Scotch-Brite. And you wanna, anywhere that you see the rust, you wanna rub kind of in the direction of the blade, because this will leave little scratches on the metal. It's not gonna be ever as shiny as it was when it was brand new. But you just wanna rub back and forth. And I just took care of my sword, so I don't have any on there right now. Well, a little bit. So I'm just gonna get in there and kind of, again, in the direction of the grain. And this just takes elbow grease. Keep going until the orange and the brown is gone. If the rust has gotten a little bit deeper, it's gonna leave some dark kind of gray discolorations. And as far as I can tell, those are there to stay. I think you could continue to buff, but then how much of the sword are you kind of buffing away? It's not progressive anymore once you get past the orange and the brown stuff, and that's gone. So I'm down to where I can see just a few gray speckles. I left it too long at one point. So that's the rust portion. Then I take, once I've gotten all my burrs and my rust off, I take my clean cloth and just kind of wipe any of the dust off of the surface. And then it's oil time. This is our protective layer. So different choices for oils. You can use mineral oil. You can use gun oil. Ballistol, Ballistol, however you want to say it, is favored by a lot of people. I really like sewing machine oil. And you can get this from any craft store, Amazon, whatever. So I like to just drizzle my oil right on there and just kind of apply it in a light layer. Make sure you're getting every surface all the way up into your, you know, around your grip and your cross guards here. Get your pommel. And some say to kind of wipe it all the way off. I like to actually leave a little thin layer on for the next time. It's not going to hurt anything, and it really does protect against that humidity until the next time you use it. So, how often to clean your swords? Well, ideally, you would clean them after every time you use them. Most of us don't get to that, so every week, every 2 weeks, until you see rust, or never. It depends on how clean and shiny you like your swords. So if you have any other questions, let us know. Or if you just want to give us your opinion on what your favorite techniques and products are, we'd love to hear about it. Thanks.